Hey, what's up, guys? Nicholas Davenport, aka Mr. Mental Muscle, and today we have Mental Muscle Monday. Now, there's this meme I've been seeing going around that it's about a study done at Harvard with rats treading water in a cup. Now, to give you a quick summary of the study, the rats were treading water and they wanted to see how long they would last before they just gave up. Now, in the first group, they saw after a short amount of time they would give up because it's like, what's the point? And the rats stopped treading. Now, the second part of the experiment, they took the rats and they say, you know what, let them tread for a little bit and to the point where they want to be exhausted and give up. Let's take them out, let them recharge and put them back in. And they saw it went for exponentially longer, about 60 hours, just treading water, waiting to be saved. And the idea was that the belief that they would actually be saved gave them the inclination to keep trying, not to give up. Now you're thinking, where does this carry over to everyday life? These are rats. We're not rats. But the beauty is with this experimentation, there is some carryover. Now, I'm gonna give you some anecdotal story that I've learned from the actual former client of mine. Now, George, this guy, he's a gentleman who's very successful in life. He's done a lot, but he told me one story that I will never forget. He was in Haiti. Now, Haiti is a small island in the Caribbean. Now, he was out there doing business. Now, he was on a boat that capsized and got washed away in the sea. Now, unfortunately, everyone but George would pass in this ordeal. Now, it wasn't just over from the start and he got saved. Obviously, he lasted because I ended up talking to him many years later. But the thing is, he was just treading water, just like those rats you see. Now, as he's treading water, he's thinking, will I be saved? Where am I? How far am I from the mainland? Now, eventually, after almost a day and a half of treading, he was found by a fisherman who brought him back to the island. He survived, obviously, and rest is history. Now, the real takeaway from that story isn't that he overcame and survived treading the water for that long. It's the fact when I asked him, what kept you going? What was your motivation? He said, honestly, I found out how far away from the mainland we really were. And he said, if I had known that, I probably would have given up. Now, this is kind of the inverse of the rats because they knew that there was a possibility to be saved. He was the opposite. The fact that he didn't know. So that just shows you how powerful this could be on both ends of the spectrum. The idea that defeat being imminent will cause most people to just give up, while hope being imminent will cause people to keep going. And he actually had to have a little bit of both because he had to have the hope someone was coming. But the fact is, when you let these thoughts creep in of there's no chance, think about your own life. When you say, there's no point, I'm just not gonna make it anyway, guess what? You follow suit. Your brain gives a reinforcement that, you know what, don't do anything, no behavior, no motivation, no acts that's gonna add to the greater goal because you already told yourself there's no point anyway. You can say, well, that doesn't make sense. I can do whatever I put my mind to. Yes, but think about it. When you give yourself the inclination that you can't do it, the rest just follows. And the point is, just like with George, if he had known that he was dozens of miles away from the shore, that his likeness to survival was very low, that could be very defeating. Now, there's other aspects of this in real time. We can talk about Roger Bannister, or I should say Sir Roger Bannister, who recently passed a few years ago. He was the first man to break the 4-minute mile. Now, this was thought to be unbreakable for 40, 50 years. Now, the fact that he did it wasn't just a big deal. It's the fact that after he did it, it was seen that anyone could do it, and then more people started breaking it. Within a month, 2 men that did it, including Roger Bannister again. And then within a year, about 5 men. And since then, in the 1950s, thousands of people have done it, even kids in high school. So it's the fact that the thought of that it can be done sets the tone. And if you understand this, you can take yourself so much further. And this is not just say to speak it to existence. There's more to it, but the belief in itself can take you so much further. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And as always, get your mind right.